Hey, welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about allergic rhinitis and allergic conjunctivitis. So what is this exactly? This is basically just your allergy symptoms. So this is like when you have a runny nose, you're sneezing, you might be itching in your throat, itching in your nose, you might feel like you're congested and you can't breathe. You could be even having headaches from this or feeling really tired, all because of these symptoms, also including itching eyes. Okay, so why is this important? Because if you're not treating this, then of course you have to deal with all these pretty horrible symptoms. Also, you can have decreased concentration. You can get poor sleep because of all these symptoms. And it's also shown that people who do suffer from these might actually have poor outcomes at work or at school. Okay guys, so allergies can either happen either seasonally. For example, this would be like in the summertime, a lot of people have allergies to the grass outside. And then in the late summer, fall, people can have allergies to weeds. And in the spring, a lot of people have allergies to the trees. And then otherwise known as perennial, which could be having allergies just all year round to just a bunch of different things, which can also be exacerbated by seasonal allergies. So some more allergy factors can include just different plants that are coming up during different times of the year. Like I said, the trees, the grass, the weeds. I know I used to live in Ohio and the hay fever was a horrible thing for me. Like one time I remember I was hanging out at the bar with my friends and my eyes were like bloodshot red from it and my nose was all red and I probably looked like I was just like straight up hammered, and the bartender didn't really feel comfortable like serving me. But then I told him like, oh my god, my allergies are like so bad, like I swear I'm fine. Okay, so hay fever, yeah, hay fever sucks. So I'm sorry for you guys, whoever else has it out there. Perennial symptoms, people who have these are probably more allergic to things that they are around every day, which this could include different plants or outside factors, but could also include things that are inside your house, like literally, guys, like carpets. Okay, people who have allergies, you should just get rid of your carpets because these things hold and store dust mites like no others. And then, be careful about your bedding. Make sure that you're at least changing it or, cleaning it every 2 weeks. And then what you can do is put the covers around your mattress and around your pillowcases because dust mites actually love to be in your pillows and your mattresses. You can be allergic to the animal dander. If you absolutely have to have your animals, then either put them in a place where you don't have any carpet so that animal dander doesn't stay in the carpet, or just try to get rid of the carpet. I know like that's actually really hard to do, especially if like money is really tight, but your other option is try to keep the animal where there is not any carpet. Okay, so what are some signs that people might have? So one big sign is actually allergic shiner. So what is allergic shiner? That is when you have some under eye darkening. Now, let me tell you, okay, this is not always going to be the reason why you have under eye darkening, but this could just be a factor of why, and I will tell you why. Because you get under eye darkening, again called allergic shiners, because certain things that are released when you have this allergic response will actually cause vasodilation, which means you are dilating the veins and they will be closer to the surface, causing you to get a purplish hue underneath your eyes. Another thing that you might notice on people is called the allergic salute. So the allergic salute is basically when people are chronically like moving their hand like this, and then it causes this like darkening crease right here in the nose area, as you can see. Just the other things that I've already said before, you might have itchy eyes, they might be watery, your nose might be running, you might have, nasal congestion as well. You might actually feel that your ears are itching, your back of your throat is itching. You might also get a sore throat from all the mucus draining. And then also this can make you just feel like sick. And if you've ever had these allergies, it also makes you feel very fatigued as well, especially when they're really, really bad. Okay guys, so here's for a little fun part of this. I do want to take you guys to a little science class of mine and show you exactly why all of this happens. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you the immune response that your body has basically when you take in this allergen. Okay, so here we go. This is a little particle of the allergen here, and your body is going to take it in. So here's your body, and then it is going to then create a immune response, okay? And this immune response equals a bunch of antibodies, all right? So now we have these antibodies floating around, and they are going to find mast cells or basophils, okay? And those antibodies are going to connect to these mast cells like so, all right? So that's basically like the first time you take in this allergen. And then when you go and you take this allergen in again, it is going to come in and it is going to produce more of these antibodies. But however, now that the cells already have the antibodies on them, it is going to connect to these antibodies, okay? And then it is going to cause a reaction. So that reaction is release of granules from these mast cells or basophils, and these granules are going to have histamine. Okay, so that is the biggest reason that you get a ton of symptoms while you get your allergic response, okay? So this is gonna cause those itchy eyes, the runny nose, the nasal congestion, the cough that you didn't know you had that was due to you having allergies, you know, the consistent sneezing, and just what's gonna make you feel like horrible. That is the histamines. All right, histamines, and the granules will also produce other kind of response like cytokines and interleukins and bradykinins, but histamine is the reason you get the main big response, okay? Okay guys, so I thought that was pretty important to share with you guys just so you can understand the whole process of what is actually going on in your body. And basically, I'm going to go ahead and show you the treatment and how it defeats this process in your body. But if you like what you hear and you see so far, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, guys, so what is next? All right, so when you go to the doctor for this, basically we're going to diagnose you with these things based on your history that you're telling us. And the reason for us to do labs at the office is not necessarily needed. You don't really need to get any labs, but if you continue to have really horrible symptoms and medications are not working, then we might send you to an allergy specialist, or we might go ahead and order an allergy panel to see what is going on. The treatment for this, the number one thing is to avoid exposure. So that's like, if you know that you are going to go outside during hay fever time or when the weeds are really high, then you might want to avoid that and stay inside more. I know that actually is kind of crappy, but there's also other things you can do, like taking medicines that we'll get into. And then one thing that I think is kind of funny that I don't actually think a lot of people know about is that cockroaches can actually cause allergies. Like, ew. Yeah, so you might need to get a Terminator to help you take care of that, but that is a real thing. So get rid of those cockroaches. So number one thing, like we said, is just avoid the triggers. So if you know your triggers, avoid them. The second way that you can actually treat all these allergy symptoms is to get a intranasal glucocorticoid spray. So a lot of people know of the fluticasone, which is rather called Flonase. This one works really well. This is actually the one that I use, but there is other options of steroids. And again, I'll be listing these down in the description for you. So hopefully you can find these and have them at home. So I actually have mine to show you. So I just get this one. You can buy it on Amazon, and I believe this is like the Costco brand, but you can still buy it. But something that I do want to show you is how to use this, because some people can use this improperly and it can cause nosebleeds because it gets right inside of the septum of the nose, and since it is a steroid, it can cause some breakdown. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your opposite hand for the opposite side of the nose, and then again for this side use the opposite hand for the opposite side of the nose. That prevents you from using the same hand and going like this and getting it on the inside of the septum and causing nosebleeds. If that doesn't work, you can go ahead and you can try to progress to using a antihistamine. So the antihistamine that you choose should be ones that do not actually make you sedated. So the one that makes you sedated is the Benadryl. So you should try not to use that one. That is a certain class of antihistamine that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and this can make you very tired and fatigued. So if you do decide that you only take the Benadryl, I know Benadryl can be like pretty cheap in some places, but if you do decide to take the Benadryl, you shouldn't be driving on it. It can actually cause you to be like slow to react, and even with your mentation a little bit slower as well. I would say to just get some of the newer antihistamines. These would be like the cetirizine, the fexofenadine, loratadine. Common names for these would be Claritin, Zyrtec, Allegra. For me, I personally like taking the Allegra, which is the fexofenadine, and I always get the generic brands just because I don't really see the point of paying full price for a product when you can get the same thing or the same medicine. Okay, so the one that I also get this from Amazon because it's like pretty cheap to get on there. I just get this one and I take it. And if you are someone who maybe you don't have like animals in your house, but you have a friend that has animals, make sure you take these medicines. I would say just try like this, either the steroid spray or, you know, one of these antihistamine, you know, Zyrtec, Allegra, Claritins, a couple hours before you go see the person or go to their house, just to help before you get those symptoms. If you do take this every day, it's going to help you better, especially if you're someone who has allergies every day. But if you're someone who only gets them once in a while and you know your triggers, then make sure to just take it before you come in contact with that known trigger. Last but not least, the next treatment that you would progress to if none of these worked for you would actually be immunotherapy, but by then you would have hopefully been referred to a allergist from your primary care doctor. And then just another thing that I want to show you, if you are having itchy eyes, then you can get an over-the-counter antihistamine drops for your eyes as well. Basically, you would have to go and look in the aisle or whatnot. I'll also add some links in the description below to help you out, because these can be very hard to find since there is so many different eye drops in the eye drop section, like literally. But if you are in there and you're having like your head is just like spinning and you don't know which one to pick, you can pick up the back of the box and you can look for, you know, certain active ingredients. Like this one, you can see that we have the antihistamine. It'll say the antihistamine here, the ketotifen fumarate. So there is other antihistamine eye drops that you can get over the counter as well. So this is just one that I happened to pick up because since it is allergy season, I did start to get a lot of itchy eyes. So the bottles are usually pretty small. So this is the bottle from that actual package that I've been using. I don't use this all the time. I just use it like when my eyeballs are literally red and I want to scratch them out. Before we end, I just want to show you exactly how these work within the system that I drew you earlier, you know, so you can kind of picture this in your head of what's going on. Now I want to show you basically where these medicines that I was telling you about are going to come in here and stop this response from happening. Basically, your immune response happens and it leads to the allergen coming in and cross-linking your antibodies, causing a reaction from the mast cells and basophils, okay? So the mast cells are in the mucosa, okay? And the basal cells are in the bloodstream, okay? So the mucosa is where we are going to hit with the nasal spray. And we are going to stop the immune response, right? The nasal spray is a steroid that is going to basically try to halt the nasal response. That's why people who have an immune response greater to something usually are taking steroids to help decrease that response. The pills, the allergy pills that you take, are antihistamines. So like we said here, we have the histamines that are causing all the problems. We are going to knock that out with the medication pills. Okay, so that's like, this is going to be your Zyrtec, your Claritin, your Allegra. All right, and the nasal spray, how I put it here, it's going to stop the immune response. It's basically going to stop all of that from happening, right? I just wanted to show you how the medicines are actually working in the process, because I know a lot of people that take medicines, but they don't really understand what they're doing. So by understanding more of what the medicine's doing is actually going to help you be more understanding of why you should take the medicine, rather than just thinking, oh my God, I'm putting these pills in my body and I don't know what they're doing. So I hope you like what you learned today, and I could help you with your journey with your allergies. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.